Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Into the Depths podcast.
Oh, hello there. My name is Vent, aka Advent. We're gonna be talking about on our new podcast about anime, what we think is good, what we like, our favorite animes, and so forth. So leave a comment down below what you want us to talk about next.
And your favorite anime as well.
All right. So what do we got going today?
Yeah, we can start off by talking about our, first ever experiences with anime, you know? I think that's a first and easy simple topic for the start of an anime podcast.
Oh God, our first anime that got us into the anime.
Yeah.
Let me see. So, if we're talking about animes, I'd say I started with the Dragon Ball Z type anime. But if we're talking about more Japanese type of animes, I'd say maybe Naruto.
Naruto?
Maybe was Naruto. Yes. How about yours?
Mine was actually Naruto. I actually like the first episode I ever saw was the fight between the three Sonic. I saw Jiraiya versus Orochimaru versus
Oh,
Tsunade. The
sounds
three-way
good.
deadlock fight, that one.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you started at a good episode, and then it made you curious. I bet.
Yeah, then I went back and obviously watched everything, from the beginning. But when I saw that first episode, and of course it was on Toonami on Cartoon Network, because that's the that was the OG way to watch anime back then. Was
So for me, it was kind of weird because at that point everybody was so hyped about Naruto and everybody was watching Naruto, and I didn't want to watch it. I was like, man, this is weird. I was the one kid that wanted to go against everything at
the
that point.
Naruto runners.
Yeah. So, I didn't want to watch it up on one day. A friend of mine lent me the whole season. I think it was one, two, and three, to watch, and I just sat home and I binge watched it all day. And after that, I'm like, this is good. I
This
like
is
it.
this is Thousand Years of Death.
Yep, that was something.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yep.
didn't. I know you said Dragon Ball Z. I know people are gonna hate me, but I didn't really watch it. I didn't hate it. I just never got into it. I had,
How dare
I,
you?
I had a family that got into it, and it's not because anything. It's just it wasn't the timing for me, I suppose. Like if I
Mhm.
got into anime earlier, I probably would have. It's just I kind of started from Naruto. I had obviously Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh too. If you count those, I watched
Mhm.
that pretty religiously. Um,
Well, I believe that a lot of Dragon Balls, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a lot of starting point for a lot of people because back then it's all that we had.
yeah, it's pretty much was the start for a lot of people, even not counting it. Um, in that regard, my second technically anime was actually Dead Man Wonderland. Um, Very gory for my age at that time, and I didn't get through it.
So you didn't finish it?
I did not, and I don't know. I might at some point, because I don't think it ever got past the season, obviously. Um, but that opening is
To our
so
listeners, you hear that, right? He said he never finished it. So leave in the comments for him to make him finish it. All right?
hey.
All right.
Uh, didn't you said you had one before too? I know we talked more in private about it. Something like Grandma or
Oh
something like
yeah, it
that.
was called I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but it was called Ranma and a half or something like that. It was funny enough. It was a comedy setting where this kid goes to train with his dad on top of some hot springs. The hot springs were cursed, right? So whoever falls into the hot springs will turn into whatever died in there. So the protagonist falls into a hot springs that a girl died. So I think it was with cold water or hot water, he turns into a female. So now he has to live a life. Whenever he gets wet, he turns into the opposite sex. So it was comedy all along because for some reason everybody around him had fallen into one of those. His dad turned into a panda. One of his rivals turned into a pig. There was even a swan over there. So it was funny.
Are
It
you?
was a funny.
Yeah, I looked it up just like now.
Yeah.
1989. That's when it came out, man. That's in the OG era, aren't you?
I mean, I doesn't mean that I watch it in that time, but I feel like I don't know. I'll try to find some DVDs and try to finish it. I don't remember finishing it.
Might be a little harder nowadays considering the art style, but
Hmm.
though considering we have had remakes a lot more lately, it's highly possible that maybe it could potentially get a remake in the future. Depends on how popular
Hmm.
it is, obviously. Because um, I'm just gonna briefly mention this, because Spice and Wolf just got a remake, which is a very old one at the same time.
Yeah, I just saw a new episode that came out. I haven't watched it, but I did see a new episode come out.
Because the last time Spice and Wolf was out was 2008, and now it's 2024. And there's a remake. I've never I tried to watch the original before of that too, and it didn't really work out for me. Maybe I can try the new one
What is it about? I haven't watched it.
now. Just I have a friend that's more interested in it than I am, and they prefer the old one still over the new one. They've literally told me that. I think it's literally like it's a romance for sure, and it's between like a fox girl and like a merchant. That's all I really
Mhm.
know, but I think there's a lot more economic factors to it as well, and talk about that from what my friend mentioned to me. So
I was gonna say, talking about popular, what do you think is on the last season one of your favorites ones for the last season that just passed? What do you think is the one that people should go to on your book? You know,
okay, for the winter season, I I I still like Classroom of the Elite like so much. Classroom of the
that
Elite.
one is
We
good.
just had season 3, obviously, and I know we've
Hmm.
had our own private discussions on that one. It's just something.
Hmm.
It's because it has so much to it. Like even last season, they had that whole chess game maneuver system right there. Between,
No, no spoilers. No spoilers.
but I'm just gonna vaguely mention it. But chess game. That's pretty. Um, Ayana Koji, like honestly, great MC for different reasons. He's obviously not the best at being an actual human being as a person because of the way he thinks, but his tactics, his strategies are always astounding because you never think what is he gonna do in this situation, and then when it happens, you're just like, wow.
So, for those of you out there that haven't watched Classroom of the Elite, I advise you to go watch it. Would you call this a psychological anime?
It has some psychological elements, but I don't
N-
know. It's not like
I
it's
would,
on the length of ReZero, which is psychological.
yeah.
Um,
So, what I mean on this is
Play it is considered psychological.
yes, because it's a lot of intelligent people fighting, not fighting each other, but devising plans to make the other people fall or go above everybody else. Like there's always the premise, like you're on the last class, worst class ever, so you're trying to raise your class ratings up to the top.
Yes.
So it has resemblance from Death Note, that whoever was the villain, they knew who was the villain and all that, but they couldn't make a move. However, that didn't stop them to make a move from each other or some other way. So this is something that I like on this anime, that it completely confuses you as the fact that, oh, this is gonna happen and then something else happens. It caught me off guard, and that's good. When an anime catches me off guard, it's good on my book.
Not to mention, just if you look, the straight cast of characters we have, I would say they're all pretty good. Like even the ones that have their like bad moments and stuff, like you can see that in season 3. We have a couple. that have had their very rotten moments, but I think that makes them, as a character, like it's kind of like a development in their character. I really think like they did a very good job on this cast of characters in Classroom of the Elite.
I believe so too, and I honestly I tell people go watch it if you haven't watched it. At least give it a chance. Do the like Nash over here says, do the 3 episode rule. Watch the first 3 episodes. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Nobody's gonna judge you. I mean, maybe he will, but
I believe in the 3 episode rule. I feel like that is a good solid rule. I know some people do the 1 episode rule, but sometimes 1 episode doesn't get the ground out. It doesn't work.
Mhm.
Trust me, I've tried it with Mob Psycho. 1 episode's not enough.
Yeah, I am glad when I watched Black Clover. The first 3 episodes were bad because Asta keeps
Yelling.
screaming. Yes, yes, and it was getting annoying. However, I decided to give it another shot, and he eventually stopped screaming, and the anime gets so much better.
It's just the funny part. He eventually stops screaming.
Yes, it's
uh,
like if you're watching My Hero Academia, the first 4 or 5 episodes, all Deku does is cry. So, and that gets annoying up to a certain point because you want to see some action, but Deku's just crying over there. But eventually he stops crying and the anime starts to get good. Now, now calm down, fans of Hero Academia. I haven't said anything bad. I'm just saying that Deku used to cry a lot. Now he doesn't. It's all good.
yeah, don't worry. We have season 7 coming in May.
Yeah, I'm on that manga though, so.
Another one from the last season. We can just move on now. Uh,
Mhm.
the hype one, Solo Leveling.
Solo leveling. There's so much to say.
How about we start with, considering we only had 12 episodes there. What do you think was your favorite episode? If it's the same as mine, then you know.
You know it probably is. So not to spoil anybody or anything, if you haven't watched it, you're missing out a lot. It is a great anime,
Assuming
but
in
that
your case it's an episode midway through. Maybe a
um
song with a you want with this particular BGM song that played through
yeah,
it.
so if you know what song we're talking about, that's my ringtone right now. So
Well, we can still say the song. It's on its own. It's called Dark Aria. Um,
yeah, that's a great song. That one and that fight with the red, which I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to spoil it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the game already spoiled it.
Did it?
It's literally named.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
getting
literally
I'm
named that.
I'm getting that game though.
And also, the trailer for that game literally spoiled the last few episodes of the actual anime. It's funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is good. It threw me off. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
It is. It
there
is.
was a lot of good fights, a lot of good combat, and then they chose the perfect like music composer, which is Sawano Hiroyuki, which their music is always so good no matter what series they're
Mhm.
doing. I've heard them from things like I don't know how if you're aware of a show called Recreators. They did songs for that. Um, that's a very I call it underrated anime for sure, and I'm sure a lot of people out there would say so too. Um, they've done a lot of different openings and compositions, BGMs, that kind of thing. They're always so good.
I also think that the voice actor did a good job.
Oh heck yeah, he knows how to
The voice actor,
scream.
yeah, the voice actor for this guy, he did a pretty good job. And I have so much to say, but I don't want to spoil anything. But this is the only anime that I've watched while I'm eating, and it has made me stop eating just to see what's gonna happen. Otherwise, I would have kept eating, and I can watch it. It's okay, nothing's gonna happen. This anime made me stop eating because it was so graphic, um, so intense that I wanted to see what was gonna happen next. So I stopped eating to give it my full attention.
Now, how would you compare it to Jujutsu Kaisen, the last season? I know that's
Hmm.
not a good one to compare.
You can't actually compare them both because they're two different storylines, and I think it's good. However,
Yeah.
my Jujutsu Kaisen fellows over there deal with that depression. It gets worse, but um,
And
it,
also in regards to solo leveling, at least we we're already aware there's going to be more. There's more. There's another
yes,
season, technically a second part. I don't know when. Right now, I don't think we got a release date, but again, I told you this before. There are rumors we're going to get even more than that. Now, it's just rumors.
I mean,
Hopefully,
look,
hopefully,
look,
hopefully we
it is a hot anime right now,
yeah,
so they would be wrong to not
capitalize on it.
capitalize, yes,
Yes.
on this moment right now because the anime is really popular. I think it was on the monthly viewings, it was number one in the charts for a few days. So if they don't tell people that they're getting a second season, they're losing people. Regardless, when they come out, people are gonna watch it, but keep that hype.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't know if they'll do it this year or not. I think they'll probably do 2025. I feel like that's when the next one will, because it can't be like, for example, Shangri La Frontier, which is getting another season in October.
Yay! Shangri La Frontier is another good one.
Yeah, that one was another one that was just aired in this last season, and it got a full 24 episodes. So it actually started even before the winter. It started actually it started like the October area, I believe, right?
Go ahead and tell people what Shangri La Frontier is about.
Shangri-La Frontier. It is literally a video game. And the MC wants to play the most trashiest of games until he's just like, I'm going to play a god tier game this time. So he decided to join it, and he seems to be having a lot of fun with it, trying to get all these drops and fight all these creatures. And the thing is, of course, after playing all these trashy games, he has like the skills necessary because this kind of mode, it's like a VR MMO style thing like SAO. You put a helmet on and you go into the game, and you can actually use all your reflexes and what. So that's how that
Now,
that's pretty much how that is, with some other colorful characters along the way.
yes. Now, don't get it confused out there. The game is not the anime, sorry. It's not a replica of Sword Art Online. So the character is not overpowered at all. If I'm not mistaken, episode 2, he gets to fight a supreme beast or something like that. So they in Sword Art Online, you didn't see that so quick. The character is not overpowered with strength and all that. He just
Has
has a
good
lot of
reflexes.
knowledge. Yes, he has a lot of knowledge on the previous games, the trash games that he has played. So he has forged.
I'm still remembering that one trash game that he was playing.
Oh, that yeah. Um.
Hey, I'm sure you can remember it.
So yeah. So he takes these abilities and puts it in the new game that he's playing, his free flex and all that, which make him a good player. But it's so much more than that. It's very misleading because at the first, you see him wear a bird mask and you're like, what is this? However, just give it time. Give it time. You're gonna like it.
He's essentially just playing a glass cannon character where he's just trying to
Hmm.
outspeed everything and just like strike it as you go. And it's just like, hey, I mean, that's a fun role because you
Hmm.
can get damage at any time massively.
Yep. Yeah, he doesn't have over 50 HP, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think it was that much, huh?
Hmm.
And that was a 25 episode season right there. So you got the full thing all the way from October to March. It was Shangri-La. And then, of course, they revealed the second season in October, and it's also going to be around there, around 24 episodes.
I can't wait. I'll tell you that. It's really good.
I'm just wondering, how do they manage that back to back? Most of the time, anime like this, let alone don't get, a second season within the same year, but also a you know, double go of it. So we're essentially doing another October to March again, for
Well,
the
if they're
second
if
season.
they are doing what Mappa's doing, then you can figure it out how.
It's, it's kind of hard to be them. um,
um, Talking about other animes, what do you think about Moonlit Fantasy?
yes, Moonlit Fantasy. I feel like season 2 is way better than season 1. It just has a
Uh,
different vibe to it.
yeah, it changed vibe. It is good. I'm not gonna lie, but I still have in season one you saw him go more into fights and all that, rather than
That's
in
true.
season two he's more of like a scholar or something like that. But for those who don't know, go ahead and tell us what Moonlit Fantasy is about, at least season one, so people can know.
Well, for all you isekai people out
That's me.
there, that's pretty much an easy, simple approach to what this is about because isekai, some to another world. But essentially, the synopsis is, hey, you get summoned to this world, but the goddess does not like him. Absolutely hates his guts, and
Yes, that's
and
true.
and thinks he's ugly. And it's just like, you go to the corner of the world over here.
Yeah, so this one guy gets reincarnated in a new world, right?
Yeah.
So he does not get the goddess's blessing because the goddess think that he is ugly and that he should live with the monsters. So she sends him to the most corner of the world where the monsters live and the demi-humans, if I'm not uh,
Yep,
correct.
demi-humans.
So he has to live on not being able to speak normally because I don't think he can speak common.
He cannot.
Um,
That's one like downside where he has to pull up like a tablet being like, the writing for it to talk to
mhm,
people and talk to humans. The only way he can
yeah.
actually talk to them. Literally pull up a screen where he speaks to them.
So
And
not only can he not talk common, the goddess deem him ugly, so everybody sees that he's horrible looking. Um, and he's on a place that he doesn't know no food or anything for that matter. But he comes up to the challenge. He's really good. What was his name? I forgot his name.
the MC, Makoto,
Yeah. Yeah, that one. Um,
and obviously he
the
builds up his. He essentially has the domain where he builds up a repertoire of strong people.
Yep. So if you're curious, it's like an action comedy, I would say.
It is an action
So
comedy. You are correct.
so the for the first time there's more action. There's action in the second one, but he goes more into the depths
Into the depths.
into the depths of things.
Yeah, I mean this. I know the reason why people don't like the second season is because there was episodes kind of setting up, and we already are aware of this, that there are other heroes, obviously. Um, Even in season 1, you're aware of that, and that's not really a spoiler or anything. We know it because obviously a goddess summoned a terrible hero in her eyes. She's going to summon more, but there was focus on them, obviously, and that's kind of what people didn't like for season 2. I would say, I mean, obviously, I guess I couldn't judge that season 2 is better than season 1 because it's not over yet. Once season 2 is over, then we kind of make that decision. That's kind of where we're at. They've both been very long seasons, I believe. Oh no, first season was 12. This second one is 25 that we're on right now. So they're going full ham on this season. They probably got to cover a lot of content.
Yeah, they're covering backstories for almost every main character and villain at the same time. So there's an episode where you'll see the main character. There's an episode where you won't see him because you'll see somebody else, and they're covering all the bases. But I'm thinking that it's gonna lead up to a confrontation soon,
Oh yeah,
which I'm hoping so,
with the
because
heroes
there's already
definitely.
yeah there's already brushes with the guy hero.
Yeah,
I
he's
guess that
gonna be
will
the
make
one.
him an anti-hero.
Oh yeah, or just an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah. Um, Another one that I am currently interested in, can you guess? It's another isekai. For those out there, I love my isekai animes. I like isekai.
Are we still
Um,
going? Are we in the past still, or are we going into the current?
it's been on the past, but it's currently airing right now.
Which is that?
I think you and me both liked it. That time I was reincarnated as a slime.
Oh yeah, that's a currently airing one. Yes, we're on season 3
Yes, season three.
because technically speaking, the last season was part 2 of season 2.
So
I
they're
know.
going with that
Yeah,
Attack on Titan.
it's very odd how that worked, right?
Right. If you, I know this has a weird name. That time I got reincarnated into a slime. If you haven't watched it, go give it a chance. It's good. I know I've been saying that for a bit. However, it is really interesting how this guy gets to reincarnate as a slime and has to live life as a slime, but
Yeah,
he progresses from there.
I mean, he all started with having to tell somebody to fry his computer while he was.
Yes. When he got stopped, he told his best friend, erase my hard drive.
Sorry, spoiler, you guys. Spoilers. He, he he got stabbed in the first episode.
Oh, I did. Oh my God, I did spell it. Yeah, make sure you edit that out. I mean, look, we're talking about isekai, so it's probably one of two options. He either died or he got summoned. So
It's usually die more, and it's usually a truck. This is just a situation where it wasn't.
usually Truck-kun.
Yeah, Truck-kun is the most to take lives.
Helping heroes realize their full potential.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's actually like a death counter for Truck-kun somewhere on the internet.
Is it?
Yes,
Let me
I
find out
think
real quick.
somebody probably made one.
Oh, it says 35.
He's killed
Not
35.
including not including these last 2 years. So there might
Oh,
be more.
that was from 4 years ago, right? There's
Yeah,
probably there's a Wikipedia page for Truck-kun.
there is.
Yeah, what the heck?
Jesus Christ.
I didn't expect that. Uh, what's the what's his kill rate? Oh, right here. In 2017, deaths caused by traffic incident by truck came third in the study with 37 cases. General traffic accidents coming with 38 cases. Origins of the meme.
I think
Uh,
that's a real thing instead of.
no, that's the origin of the meme.
Hmm.
That was the anime fan compiled a list of cause of deaths among isekai protagonists, which updated in 2018. They had 37 cases, and with general traffic incidents coming at 38 cases. So so it's around 37 to 38 potential.
So Slime is one of the animes that I'm most looking forward for this season. As to last season ended on a really good note, and it hyped everybody. I'm not gonna tell what happened, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. That moment hyped everybody up. So
Are you talking about the Easter eggs from last season? Because I remember that was hype too.
yeah, yeah, that those Easter eggs hyped everybody up, and by now I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen it. But if not, then I guess you're gonna have to watch it to find out.
The simplest thing to say, we keep getting more OP characters. And
Yes,
I think that's just
yes.
what happens because in that world, obviously naming somebody or something obviously increases their power by. I have no idea how much, but a lot.
I mean, just look at the protagonist when he got named. He got a lot of power just from that. So
Well, yeah, I guess technically he himself was named, right? Because I don't think
Mhm.
anybody named him, obviously. Named others.
No, the he got named.
He
If I'm
did?
not mistaken, that's how he got his last name.
Uh, Tempest.
So yeah, the dragon gave him the last name. He said, "You're
Right.
allowed to use my last name." So that's giving you a name.
I guess that is technically giving a name, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Naming is
what
powerful in
about?
that world.
It is. What about this new season? I know you were telling me about an anime that you're currently watching that I haven't watched that it's really good.
I am enjoying, of course, the this is just one off the top of my head. Well, the one you're mentioning is obviously the let me get the light novel title here. As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world.
Those names are getting wild.
Light novel titles in a nutshell. They tell you exactly what everything happened.
Yep.
I mean, and by the time this podcast is out, I will probably have an episode one kind of discussion video out as well. So, it, this is going to be on my channel anyway. I can say anything. I will mark
Yeah.
it myself. But the whole idea is, if you've seen that anime, how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom, that's another one I enjoyed. Where
Me too.
essentially, instead of a character being like OP, he gathers more OP characters around him. In his case, he has the appraisal skill, so he can see numerically everybody's stats, everybody's ranks for things. Like, hey, this guy is he's a B rank in archery. That means he would make a very good archer. And it's like, ranking from S, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, F down to F. S being the highest. I don't know if you can go higher than that. Maybe there's an SS or an S plus. I don't know about that yet. But from what I've seen, that's kind of how that works. And essentially, by using that, you can create a very powerful domain of the strongest people that nobody else would realize has potential, has talents, because they don't give them a chance. And that tends to be what happens, right?
That's pretty interesting. So much you can do if you're able to see everybody's stat numerically.
Yeah, even things simple as leadership. You can see how many points they have in there, how good, how are they a destined born leader? Stuff like
Hmm.
that. Like he even like because there's another example where he looks at his own father's stats, and you can see how high those are, including in leadership, because his father is the leader of the family. He's the you know he's the one in control of the entire family. Obviously, he needs leadership. You can see other things about him like that. Just seeing everything numerically, it's very cool, and it's like it goes a little more away from the whole hey, this protagonist is OP, and it's like no, he's OP with friends, essentially. And but there's also obviously one other thing to know, and he mentioned in the first episode is he can't appraise his own skill, so you don't know how OP he is. You won't know what his stats are because he can't appraise them. He can't appraise his own self. He can only appraise others.
Oh, I'd say he wouldn't need to because he just gathering people that are good enough, so he can see. He might not have a high enough stat, but the other ones around him does. So that's what makes him a good leader. Is he's able to lead people on what they excel the best. So I'm thinking of giving this a check. Watch it, see how it is myself, because it sounds pretty interesting.
Absolutely. And I know there's another one we're watching. It's called God's Game We Play, aka another no game no life like anime.
Yes, yes, I like those.
I know a lot of people aren't really keen on this anime. Apparently, some people don't think so, but I know we both like it.
Yeah, I mean I watched the first episode. It is quite interesting. I think it has enough potential. So the first episode being the gods got bored of what they were doing, so they decided to play a game with humanity, and they made some apostles, right? That gives them the right to challenge these games. If humanity wins 10 games, the person who won the 10 games gets granted a wish.
Correction:
Well,
as many wishes as you want.
I was trying to leave that out,
Okay.
but but and it's whatever you want. So, but they also have a rule of I think if they lose what 4 or 5 games, that apostle loses their power to
Immediate
challenge.
disqualification.
Yeah, so he gets disqualified. He loses his apostle's powers, the ability that grants him to challenge these games, and somebody else gets selected randomly. It's my guess, because otherwise they never won the 10 games. So I'd say new apostles get chosen like every time.
And the other thing is the skills are kind of interesting because we are only really aware of one being the MC skills. We don't know how varied and how different they all are yet.
Yeah,
Because even
like
after it's been 2 episodes and we haven't seen.
we've only seen one girl just shooting wind from her hands, and that's about it.
Yeah, maybe that's her
Um,
skill. It could be.
mhm. So it is a very like no game no life that you have to think about a plan. It's not just like, oh, this is a tag game. Let's go in and that's it. No, so you know how no game no life threw you a curve and they had to plan out how they were gonna win. So it's the same thing on this one, and it's I think it's worth a chance. I liked it. I'm gonna be watching it. See, I'm gonna give it a few more episodes, see if it gets better. I think it's pretty interesting.
I mean, the first episode did a very good job at introducing the active games because they literally did a game with introduction in it. Kind of just like getting information from one another rather than it feeling like an actual game. It's just kind of like, you know, getting information like, "Hey, what's your favorite food?"
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's like it's a way of doing an introduction in a different way, except it's the characters in the game are kind of getting introduced to each other.
Yeah, by game.
Yep, in the game. Okay.
All right, and another one out there that I think it's funny, and you know that I'm gonna talk about. It's Go Loser Ranger.
Go go loser ranger.
So this is a fun anime. Like we've seen the trailers going on around. So imagine if the Power Rangers were the bad guys. So the Power Rangers beat the bad guys a few times ago, but they enjoy that spotlight so much that they are forcing the bad guys to come and attack every week, I think it is.
Yeah.
So they're forcing the bad guys to come and attack every week so that they can still bathe in that glory for the people to see them in that glory, right? However, something to note, Nash, who was Red? Who voices Red?
Oh, it's Gojo's VA or Reinhardt's VA from ReZero. So Gojo from
So
Jujutsu, Reinhardt. That VA plays so many powerful characters.
yes.
Did you know he also
And
plays the freaking caveman guy from Doctor Stone? The strong one is just like, brah.
he has a good range. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the guy doing Kirito in the anime too, because that guy is everywhere, bro. And who's the protagonist?
The protagonist here is, in the side of the evil side, technically the evil side, right?
Hmm.
But I think
That's
it's
our
in this
protagonist.
anime, it's kind of gray, isn't it?
Hmm.
But it is Subaru's VA, so it's essentially Subaru from ReZero versus Reinhardt from ReZero.
So I've listened to their voice, and I think they do a pretty good job playing their characters. I honestly, personally, I like the Subaru voice actor. So this is something. After watching that first episode, I will give it a chance. I'll give it a try. This is something not normal. We don't get an anime like this every time. It's the Power Rangers, but the Power Rangers are the bad guys. So I'm kind of interested in that. It's like a reverse hero kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
and the other funny thing, and I kind of mentioned it to you, the author of this anime, this story, is the same
mhm.
author as Quintessential Quintuplets.
so that's two whole different. That's, that guy has a lot of range apparently, because he went from an anime with 5 girls going for one guy to a Power Ranger anime.
Yeah, it's
I
wild.
can't say quintessential. Say that word.
It's pretty wild to think about. Like you go from this harem like anime to Power
Power
Rangers.
Ranger anime, yeah. So, I mean, look, it's interesting. At least for the Power Ranger one, I I will definitely give it a watch. It's gonna be on my to watch list.
And I mean, the other wild thing is the studio producing it is not known for doing things outside. They're actually they mainly do gotcha game adaptations. It's Yosar Pictures. They actually do Azure Lane, which is a
Mhm.
very popular gotcha game out there. But they don't typically go out of, you know, their way of making things for gotcha. Like literally, like if you look through a lot of their stuff is gotcha. They did an Azure Lane anime. They did Arc Knights anime. A lot of Azure Lane anime for sure. Um, and yeah, they did obviously Blue Archive is an anime airing this season they're doing, but they haven't really strayed too far off, which is pretty interesting in itself. A lot of little things, and the cast is very fascinating. And even as you start watching the show, it plays out like as if children are watching this act on stage. The whole typical like ranger hero show, that kind of thing. If you remember that kind of thing ever, right?
Yeah.
It plays out like that. And obviously, there's a lot more to it. There's deeper, darker meaning to all of it that you'd have to discover by watching the show.
Yeah, and let me say it has a lot of colors too, if people are wondering into that. And it looked really good that first episode.
There are many, many more anime. Let's see from this current season. I know one I know that I had you check out as well. The Yozakura family.
Oh, yes, yes. You told me about that one. I gave it a check, and this one has potential. So that first episode completely catches you. I'd say catch me off guard because I was not expecting what I just watched. But it does remind me of that ninja one that we saw.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's
I don't remember the name, but it was the mom was the village chief and all that. His family was a ninja. He couldn't remember, anyways. So this guy goes.
I actually figured what it was. It's Shinobi no Itoki.
Yeah, Itoki. That was the
And
protagonist name.
it was honestly an okay anime. It was
Yeah, that ending left much to be desired. However, I'm not gonna go into the
yeah,
deep with that. But these the Yo Sakura, is
yes.
it called?
Yozakura
So this,
family.
yeah, this it's kind of funny with a little bit of action, but it's like an action comedy type because I didn't feel that it got serious in the whole fight scene. I'm trying not to say a lot so I don't spoil the anime. However, it does have a little bit of potential, at least for me. So I'll be looking out for it. I'm gonna give it a watch, see how it turns out. Hopefully, it's good. Another one that it also reminds me is Spy Classroom.
Yeah, my classroom. Yeah,
Yes, so
that's another. I mean, I liked it for what it was.
I stayed in season one. So
Yeah, I mean, I watched up to season two. I thought it was fine. Um, but yeah, even with Yozakura family though, it's literally just like an eccentric spy family. It's just like you can tell it's not going to make itself be serious per se. It might have serious
mhm,
moments later, who knows? Considering
mhm.
it's already down for 27 episodes. This is going to be 27
Oh,
episode
so
season.
for sure it's gonna get serious at some point, but for now they're gonna ease us in with the jokes and all that.
I like that we're getting these very long seasons now because it means we're not expecting things to get rushed down to 12 episodes.
Yeah, they have a lot of ground to cover, and it gives us time to watch things.
Absolutely, and this is pretty good. It's gonna be fun. It's literally action comedy, but shown in elements mixed in. So it's gonna be battle, but comedy, and we saw that from episode one.
All right. Is there something else that you would like to add? Any honorable mentions?
There's some good ones. I know that one that's being talked about is that Seventh Prince one, and that's because it's so freaking weird at times. Um, and that's just literally it. It's somebody that got reincarnated and is in the same world. It's not like they got reincarnated. It's not an isekai. They essentially died in their own world, reincarnated in the same world as somebody else, um, and is obsessed with magic. And they'll just do every little thing, like even if it hurts themselves, they're gonna do it because they want to play around with magic. And I even from the first two episodes I've seen, like he goes crazy.
Sounds like another anime that I saw.
Though the thing that people are about is he kind of dressed really feminine. And obviously, if they have him grow up further in this anime, that will probably go away most likely. And
Oh,
that's
that was a boy. I thought that was a girl.
it's a boy.
Oh well.
Seventh prince, not seventh princess. Even though people
I thought
say,
it was Seven Prince. Well, that's how much attention I gave to it. So
but it's fun for what it's worth. And there's that. Obviously, here I'll talk about this one because a regular Magic High School is back for season three. I know a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people look at it as like this is the incest anime, but I love this show. And come on, at least they're doing the opening again. We haven't at least hadn't done the opening since like season one.
season one, that is correct.
Like, and it's kind of like a time skip of sort. Obviously, it's a school anime. They time skip to later on in their years. That's not really a spoiler. That's just commonplace. That happens. That's how season three starts. It's essentially a time skip forward, but you always know that the character in here, the MC, is just this OP cool character, and it's fun. And by the way, like, just to let you know, that's also Gojo's VA that plays Tatsuya. So,
Katsuya, that
yeah,
guy has a lot of range.
yeah, he plays so many OP characters because we know that Reinhardt's OP from ReZero, absolutely
Yes,
OP.
the
Gojo's OP.
most OP. Yep.
You got Gojo that's OP. You have freaking Tsukasa from Doctor Stone, who's pretty OP physically. Stuff like that. He is. When I was looking at these roles, I'm just like, that's crazy. How many other ones? And of course, Miyuki's voice actor is still the best. Sayori Hayami. If, she plays even like her range is also very odd too. Like if you watched Kakagurui, that's no,
That's her.
yeah, that's Miyuki's VA. He plays
Nice.
he plays the she plays the very chaotic girl, the one in red.
Talking about Kakegurui, I want another season of that.
Yeah, that'd be great. There was a spinoff for one of the other characters on the site. I never watched it. Go back.
I it died. Yeah, I think it was about the blonde girl or something. Mary.
Yes. Oh, there's one we forgot to talk about that we were both
Which one?
watching. The freaking yeah, let me get the English. An Archdemon's Dilemma: How to Love Your Elf Bride.
Oh, I watched that out of curiosity. I did it. I just clicked it because I
I
was
just
eating and
clicked it.
I yes. So I was eating and I wanted to watch something, so I went into that and I'm not disappointed. I'm not.
The first two episodes came out the same day.
Oh, wait, what?
The first two episodes came out the same exact day.
Oh, I only saw one.
You didn't watch the second yet?
I need to watch the second one then.
Rah!
The stop before you spoil me anything, but I'm not disappointed from that episode one.
Yeah, it's fun, and It honestly feels like me.
That's what I told you when I first watched that anime. I said that guy's you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's because he essentially is just like, well, I have this elf girl here. How do I talk to her?
Yeah,
And I'm just
so
like, damn, why does that hit home?
that felt close to you. Like the guy gets an elf bride, or he gets an elf. Like it's not a bride yet, but he doesn't know how to talk to um her, which reminds me of Diablo. How not to summon a demon lord.
Oh yeah, that show is great.
Diablo. The only way Diablo know how to talk was in character. Like he didn't know how to talk to his friends like normally, like hey, everything will be all right. So that's this guy. He's an archduke or archdemon or something.
Yeah, Archdemon.
So he doesn't know how to talk normally.
Which in that world, archdemons are very hated.
Hate it.
Archdemons are hated.
I thought everybody wanted to be an archdemon because those are the highest ranks.
I mean, that's the thing. Like they're hated because a lot of the time they do evil things or like
Hmm.
messed up things. It's not
You mean
everyone, but obviously
so? You mean the rest of the world hate them, but the sorcerers they want to be the archdemons?
it's kind of like the sorcerers are the ones that are hated. I shouldn't say archdemons, but
Yeah.
sorcerers in general are hated, and yeah, you kind of see that just from the vibe of society where people are more afraid of them than they are, than they are liked. And obviously, I think that's obviously where this elf girl comes in hand. Is if he's traveling around with an elf girl, by extension, he doesn't seem as bad. You have this beautiful
Mm.
elf girl traveling along with him that's, cute and adorable. And then you have him and he's like, well, if he's taking care of her, he can't be that bad, right?
I mean, I digress. He took her to a beheading room the first thing he did, so
He's like, well, I mean,
he was trying to be nice. He was trying to be nice.
it's probably just there on, he didn't think about it through it.
Yeah, he was trying to be nice, but
Maybe
still,
it
it
came with
was
the castle.
shocking. Hmm. Yeah, I think he did come with the castle. I think he said something like that.
Uh, but absolutely fun, absolutely relatable, and there's a lot of good anime this season. Obviously, Mushoku Tensei is back as well,
Hmm.
which you said you might have to go reflect on what happened in the last part.
Yeah, I don't remember watching the at least the last two episodes or last episode, so I might have to go back to watching that season, previous season, to go back into this one, which I have enough time.
Literally, as I stated in my my anime just checkout video, there is so many sequels this season, and we don't actually have every anime out yet either. Some are coming later, like Demon Slayer is coming later. My Hero season 7 is coming later. Stuff of that nature. Konosuba is actually out tomorrow, officially. Officially, you can still
Yay!
sail the seven seas if you want, and probably
No,
find.
we don't talk about that here.
Well, you can probably find it from sailing the seven seas. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm waiting until tomorrow. Ready for some Konosuba? Yeah, we're still in the midst. There's still more to add on, so there might be, you know, another episode of this podcast where we'll be talking about some of the others that are still to come.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. So if you guys want us to talk about a certain anime, go into deep, like of an
into
anime
the
that we have
depths.
watched into the depths. That is correct. If you guys want us to go into the depths of an anime, like let's say you want us to discuss about Naruto or any other anime that we've watched, if not, then we'll watch it and then we'll discuss it. Just let us know. Comment it on the section down below. Let us know what you guys think.
Yep, absolutely. Comment your favorite anime. Comment your least favorite anime. Comment your favorite anime that's your least favorite anime of ours.
Comment on Natch to go see finish Wonderland.
I mean, you can watch it too then.
That's you, not me.
You don't want to watch Dead Man Wonderland?
I might have watched it.
Again, there's other anime we could talk about down the line.
Yep,
But
yep,
but just
yep.
just let us know if there's any you're particularly interested in hearing talk about.
Hmm.
I've watched so many at this point that I probably could talk a lot about
Yeah.
any of them.
So, what's the name that I got for you?
Tell me the anime index.
Anime Dex, like the Pokedex, but this guy knows anything about anime. So if I have a question about the anime, I usually ask him. So go ahead, press that like button. It helps out. You
The
know, press
notification bell.
yes, that notification bell. Make this video the one that you subscribe to if you have it. If you want to see more videos about this.
Absolutely. Thank you guys all for watching the first episode of the Into the Depths anime podcast. And we will
All
catch
right.
you guys next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.